Yo, what is up, guys? We are back on Pokemon Showdown finally for week 12 of the NPL, the last week of the regular season. We are currently 9-2, riding a six-game win streak, and we're facing our last division rival, the guy who beat us in week 1, MightyMamoswine, aka Nick, aka whatever. Very cool guy, very solid battler. He didn't do as well as he could. I really think he's way better than his record. I think he's 6-5 right now. Won a couple of games in a row to get back on the playoff track. If he wins, he has a very good shot of making the playoffs. If he loses, he won't make playoffs at all. So I'm actually in a spot where I can decide the playoff race between his Washington Blazikens and the Rocky Mountain Marowaks. If I beat him, the Rocky Mountain Marowaks will make the playoffs guaranteed. If I lose, Marowaks will have to get a win in the last week or not lose by too much, depending on how our matchup here goes. In the first week he beat me because I didn't have a lot for Scarf, Nidoking plus Inferno, and because I was damp and ran Flame Charge plus V-Crit on Victini, forgetting that V-Crit drops my speed. Was the first time I used Victini. Now definitely I'm way more experience with Victini, obviously. Got some nice 14 kills or something this season, so definitely gonna put in quite some work here again. I didn't upload the team builder, obviously. Didn't have the time for it. Might do it for playoffs next week. I'm not sure about that, but probably will do that because I put way more time into my playoff builds than I do for the regular season, especially when I have already clinched playoffs in my division and shit like that. So well, I will go over my team really quick. I bring the specs as Selgor, Energy Ball, Buckbuzz, Hidden Power Ground, and me first. Hidden Power Ground is here to Oko, Infernape, and Nidoking after rocks, as well as the Magnezone. Buckbuzz has a chance of 2-hit on Quagsire. Energy Ball just drops the Azumarill, and Buckbuzz has a shot or will 2-hit KO not max special defensive Mandibuzz after rocks, so definitely a mon that can put in a lot of work. I also bring Bandit Victini, which Oko's basically his entire team after rocks, Bolt Strike for Azu, V-Create for everything else besides Quagsire, which I have the Energy Ball for, U-Turn for momentum, and obviously Bolt Strike again for the Mandibuzz, as you can see he brings. Mega Aggron here is Toxic, Earthquake, Roar, and Stealth Rock. I don't want to be trapped by a Magnezone and shit like that. He brought Magnetized Magnezone versus me in the first game, which was really cool, but I also had the Roar there, and I like to face stuff around to put everything in range for maybe a Weavile Sweep or Victini or a Selgar, obviously. This team is a very hyper-offensive team because I don't have good answers to Infernape and Nidoking. Rotom can tank hits from Infernape, but even close combat has a will 2-hit KO me after Stealth Rock, so it's not really a switch into that. Nidoking, obviously, I could bring AV Hitmontop again, but that's really dumb, so I decided not to do it because I needed to run Hitmontop plus Aromatisse to wish it back up so that it can switch in more than 2 times on the Nidoking. So, and I didn't feel like it because what's it called, the Aromatisse is passive as fuck in this matchup and won't give me a lot of momentum and shit like that. And I think momentum is pretty important in this matchup just because my switch-ins are so limited to some mons on this team. I bring the Weavile SD knockoff Ice Crush Ice Shot Berry to maybe set up 2+2 on maybe the Nidoking if it's locked into something weird or isn't scarfed, it has to switch out. May set on SD, hit the incoming Infernape on the Mark Purge with the knockoff, steal his item with the Pickpocket, and then kill it with the +2 Ice Shot because I live a Mark Punch from Life of Adamant Infernape with the Chopper Berry. But definitely gonna be interesting because he brings the Quagsire, and that I think could potentially be easily be not water absorbed, unaware, obviously. Nidoqueen here is not a life protector, but a modest attacker with Ice Beam, Sludge Wave, Earth Power, and Protect, holding a Sugar Berry. I want to Protect just to scout for potentially Scarfers, to scout for some attacks on mons he didn't bring, for example, like, what's it called, like, the Mesprit to see, the Uxie that he has on his team to see, like, if he can do anything, maybe to, like, scout for an ability on his Yanmega, which he didn't bring, to, like, see what a potential Rotom in his side could do, stuff like that. And obviously, like, if he brings Scarf Nidoking, I can scout for that first turn or second turn, like whenever he like decides to send it out with the Protect, live a hit with the Shaker Berry and kill it on the next turn. So that would be cool. Rotom is a mostly physically defensive pivot, very standard set, Hydro Pump, Volt Switch, Pain Split, Will-O-Wisp. A lot of physical defense, but also a little bit of special defense, so that like we are able to take at least a hit from the Nidoking and like to tank like 2 Thunderbolts from a Scarf Magnezone and shit like that. So that would be cool. Looking at his team, he brings like a very offensive team. Obviously, he has the Mandibuzz and the Quagsire solid defensive core against my team. Obviously, his entire team is obliterated by Victini, but there's nothing he can do about it. He just doesn't have a switch in for Victini on his roster. Like, even a max defense Uxie is 2 KO by V-Create, so nothing he can do about that. He has like to pivot. He has to pivot around on this thing, just like I have to pivot around his Nidoking and his Infernape. But I think he still has the matchup. Azu can be a big threat once I let Aggron go down. I probably have to like attack Azu, Nidoking, and Infernape every time they come in. Because like I can't switch into those that well, and like just have to like weaken them so that maybe a Selga or Victini can clean up late game, or even my Weavile. I decided to lead off with the Nidoking, expecting really to him to lead off with maybe Infernape, maybe the Nidoking as well if it's Scarfed, and yeah, we'll just like go for the Nidoqueen here and see what he can do. He leads off with his Magnezone surprisingly, and I really expected him like to switch out because even the Specs Flashcan can't knock me out, so I like made a very risky prediction turn 1, went for the Sludge Wave, and he stays in, revealing that he's probably sturdy to me, like that was in my head, and I'm like, yeah, fuck, I don't like want to switch in Rotom into the Flashcan because he's not Specs, gauging from damage, and he's not like Scarfed either because I outsped him, so could potentially go for a Thunderbolt, predicting my Rotom here, but you never know, right? So I decided to go for the Earth Powers, scouting for the Sturdy or whatever he has, and like Nidoqueen doesn't do as much as I hoped it would. Yet, yes, it would be able to break through Quagsire, which my team really struggles with if it's unaware and if I lose my Victini for the Energy Ball. But like now, after the Flashcan damage, I cannot take an Earth Power from Nidoking anymore. I cannot take a hit from Azu or Infernape anymore, so it's basically useless, and I kind of want to weaken this Magnezone to a point where I can easily kill it on the next turn. Just because differential will come into play should I lose this matchup in the play for the like 2 remaining playoff teams, or 2 remaining teams that are fighting for playoff spot, the Washington Blazikens on MightyMamoswine Spark and the Rocky Mountain Marowak. So I want to take as many Pokemon down as possible, even like should I lose, so that I like give the Rocky Mountain Marowaks a chance to make the playoffs. I go for the Earth Power. He actually reveals to be Focus Sash, which is very interesting, and he kills me with the Flashcan. So he's probably was like what's it called? Maybe Analytic, but maybe like Magnet Pull Magnezone to deal like as much damage as possible to my Mega Aggron, but whatever. I can now freely go into my Victini and click U-turn. He probably has no reason to save this monster here, and like I can kill with the U-turn and get some momentum on the switch. So Magnezone is down. It's 5-5 right now, and I decide to go into my Rotom because like his best switch into Rotom here would probably be the Quagsire, which I could burn. I would take the Toxic because I don't plan to stay in with Rotom like 4 or 5 turns in a row. Like it's more of a pivot thing. I want to Volt Switch out around stuff, want to burn stuff, get a Hydro Pump off and get out of there. So a Toxic would be fine, especially because I have the leftovers and don't lose as many HP from that as I would otherwise. So he decides to go into his Infernape, and like I'm just firing off Hydro Pump here because I feel like Will-O-Wisp would be too aggressive if he because he already predicted me turn 1, going for the old prediction, and if he decides to close combat here for some reason, I get a big Hydro Pump off. And if he U-turns, I hit everything besides the Azu, which can't really touch me, and will scout for the Water Absorb or Unaware on the Quagsire. So it's basically a non-losing play because I gauge a lot of information from that play. He goes for the U-turn, revealing to be a life-up attacker, which is great for me because I need him to be at 70% for +2 knockoff from Weavile to kill him if it's max, if it's a non-bulk Infernape. So rocks, if I get them up, plus the life up will do enough to a point where I can sweep with Weavile potentially. He U-turns out into his Quagsire, which reveals to be Water Absorb, actually not Unaware, and that is huge because now a +2 Weavile could deal with this thing. I don't have to rely on Selga or Victini hitting that thing with a big energy ball, so that's cool. Now I have a free Will-O-Wisp here to whittle this thing down as he decides to make another switch out into his Mandibuzz. So that thing gets whittled, and I'm very surprised that he went hard into it instead of toxicking me or scalding for a potential Scald Burn, but he probably scouted for the HP Grass, which I definitely could have packed, but I didn't really expect Quagsire to come, so I put Grass coverage on 2 months and I felt that was enough, especially because Nidoqueen also could easily 2-KO a thing, and I have Toxic on my Aggron to wear it down and shit like that. So he scouts for the HP Grass, I don't reveal it, and now I go for another Will-O-Wisp here, making a nice prediction that he will switch out again, scouting for the Volt switch, but oh no, I go for Hydro Pump, okay. I really thought I was going for the Will-O-Wisp, but I Will-O-Wisp now, burning the Quagsire, and now it reveals to be Toxic, which puts me on a timer, but it's not too bad. But I'm in a very tough spot. I go for the Volt switch here, maybe predicting him to predict my switch, and because I can take a Scald, it's not too bad, and the Toxic damage doesn't rack up as bad right now. But now I'm forced to switch out because I need my Rotom healthy, and I don't have the best chances to pain split up on stuff. So I decide to go into my Selga, which can take 2 Scalds from this thing and OHKO it with the Energy Ball. So that's kind of cool, I guess. He goes for the Scald, crits me, which is really annoying because now I can take another Scald plus burn potentially, but he doesn't get the burn, so that's good. I decided to go for a Bug Buzz because it actually 2-KOs Quagsire from that range, which is really crazy. He goes into his Nidoking, and Bug Buzz does a really good chunk. Sadly it's not a roll because he has probably some investment or something, or is not native, but I can't 2-KO it. After Rocks I could have potentially with nice rolls, but now the problem of Nidoking being in on me and I can't switch in. He has such a free Earth power, I didn't really expect him to go for Sludge Wave. I could have predicted that going into my Aggron, but I decided not to do it and just click Bug Buzz again because it will allow me to scout for a potential Choice Scarf, and yeah, I can't switch into this monster, especially when I expect Nerf power, so I stay and go for Bug Buzz again, put this thing in range for everything basically, and he goes for the Sludge Wave, kills my Selga, which is really annoying, but now I have again the nice switch into Victini. Bandit Victini kills with the U-turn 100% of the time from that range, so I can just U-turn out, kill the Nidoking, which is huge for me. Still, I'm in a very, very tough spot here because Infernape could potentially sweep me, and I really let a lot of stuff go that could deal with Quagsire. If I want to SD up with Weavile, I have to SD up on Quagsire and not get burned because Mandibuzz could go for Foul Play potentially, or for U-turn to get a big hit to put me in Mach Punch range from the Infernape and bullshit like that, so that's really annoying, but I guess I gotta play around that. So I send out Aggron as he goes into Quagsire, which is fine with me. I just get on my rocks here. I can face stub around, doesn't matter too much. He goes for the burn, goes for the Scald, doesn't get a burn, which is great for me. I've been pretty lucky with Scalds on my mons in this battle, but I think it's fine. You can't get a burn every time you go for a Scald, and it wouldn't have mattered too much, I guess, on my Aggron because I don't think I attacked at all with it. I think I just went for raw all the time. Inferno gets dragged out after the Raw, which is annoying. Like, I'd rather have seen the Mandibars or the Azu or something, but it's fine. He probably will just U-turn out here because he cannot kill me. But I think I went for Earthquake this time just because like I need to whittle down his Inferno. But now after next switching, he's already in range for +2 knockoff from Weavile, so that's great. I go for the Earthquake, get some nice damage off on the Quagsire, and I will go for Raw again here just to face stuff around. Earth Power doesn't do a lot, it's not a tilt KO from the range I am at, and Inferno gets dragged out again. And here again, I go for the Raw because I still can't switch in, and yeah, if he decides to stay in, I die probably, but like I get more what's it called? More life up damage on the thing. If he wants to U-turn again, I can drag something else out, which would be great, and get more like rocks damage on stuff. It's a pretty bullshit strategy, but he really struggles like wearing down beating my Aggron with anything but the Inferno. I contemplated switching into Victini here, but he could have been a madman, go for Earthquake on a big prediction, which would not have killed my Aggron from the range, but I doubt he packed the Earthquake. He has U-turn, like a Fire Coverage, Close Combat, and probably Mark Punch. That's like my best guess, but you never know. So I decide to stay in, making a very risky play and lose my Aggron here, which doesn't really matter. Inferno now is like at -1, and I can go back into my Victini. I haven't revealed if I'm Scarfed yet or not. He probably knows that I'm banned, gave from the from the U-turn damage on Nidoking, because Scarf was a roll probably, depending on my spread if I was Jolly or something. But yeah, here I make like a big prediction because I don't really need that much HP on my Vega, because I just needed to break through Quagsire and Mandibus to let Rotom beat Azu. So I decide to make a risky prediction, go for the Energy Ball here. I see CCs, I'm basically sacking his Inferno, and yeah, I get the Energy Ball off, put him in range for the next Life Orb, but don't kill. I'm really annoying because now I'm in range for Banded Aqua Jet. Every other Aqua Jet cannot kill me, so that's fine. He goes for another Close Combat, as he goes down to the Life Orb recall. So my Victini is down at a bad amount of health, but that's fine, I guess. I still can win the game with Weavile plus Rotom. And now he sends out his Azu, and my switch into Rotom is really, really obvious. I didn't think he would Aqua Jet here, so I decided to stay in and go for another Energy Ball because it would do 50 to 60% to the Azu. I'm pretty sure 40 to 50%. Putting it in range for a +2 knockoff from the Weavile, which would be great. So I decide to stay in, and he reveals to be Scarfed Azumarill with the Waterfall. So my Victini goes down, and now I have to make a big play here. If he stays in and Aqua Waterfalls again, I just lose the game. So I double out into my Weavile here, predicting the Quagsire to come in, and he switches out, thankfully. So my Weavile gets in on the one thing it could potentially set up on, which is already weakened to a point where +2 knockoff or +2 Icicle Crash would kill, and I have to bang on him not getting a burn here. Sword Fence up, and he doesn't burn me with the Scout, which is great. I'm not in Aqua Jet range yet, and Waterfall is a roll, I think, because I have some defense investment. Knockoff kills the Quagsire, and I'm 75%. Azu comes back in, and Playrough would have killed me, obviously, but I'm faster. He didn't speed creep my Weavile here, which is great. Now he knocked me out with the Playrough. I contemplated going back into my washing here, my Rotom Wash, but Playrough would have been a 2-hit KO with the Toxic from that range, so I had to now go for the win with Rotom. His Azu is at 13%, and I might think if he switches out to get more poison damage off on me, he might die to rocks, because Showdown obviously often messes up the percentage on your mons. When you're at 12.4%, they show you 30%, and you think you can live another rock switch in, but you don't actually. So that's weird, but that's what it is. I just go for the Volt Switch here. 2 or 3 Volt Switches would win me the game probably. As he decides to save his Azu, so I hope he looked at his HP numbers to know that he can live with another rock switch. And looking at Azu here, it's 12.6% actually. So now I know that he will like live another rock switch in, which is annoying. Mandibuzz, if it's not faster than me, I can volt switch here. I have like 12 or 20 EVs in speed on my Rotom to like not be speed craft, and I can kill it with the volt switch. So now the question is, does Play Rough kill? No, it does not. It's not banded. I actually calc for banded, I was like, yeah, it's a roll, fuck that. But it's actually not a roll, so he has to bank on me flinching from the waterfall or freezing from the ice punch. Goes for the first one, doesn't get the flinch, and I win the game 1-0 with my Rotom coming through at the end. Very, very close game, very good game to my buddy MightyMamoswine. Didn't think I would win the game after he revealed Scarfed on Weaver, but after I saw that he was a Scarf variant, but not fast enough to outspeed my Weaver, I felt like Rotom could win the game even though I was toxic. Very, very lucky on my part that he like misprepped for my Weavile speed. Probably just wanted to. He couldn't be faster, obviously, because Azu's base 50. I think it's base 60, but it's base 50. Couldn't like outspeed anything but my Bandit Victini, so that's fine, I guess. Probably was Jolly max speed, max attack to do that, and yeah, probably like Rotom would have lived, even if he flinched me here, I would have lived another Waterfall plus Toxic, I think, so I think I was like winning this game 100% of the time with my Rotom, unless he got 2 flinches, so kinda close one, but now I'm 10-2, number 1 team in the league, running a 7-game win streak. I think we're like 10-2 with a plus like 26 differential or something, so another solid season for us, but that playoff's definitely gonna be a slugfest. There are 2 teams that are currently 9-2, I think, and if one of them like wins 5 or 6-0, they actually overtake my spot as the number 1 team, but I doubt that will happen. I reckon they will like maybe agree on a tie, because they would play each other again in the playoffs next week if they like not overtake me as the number 1 team in the league or in our conference. So like I don't expect them to bring like serious teams. They probably will have some fun. I think they're very, very close friends. They will like bring some heat and like maybe have a close one to like just show off some cool sets or something. I don't know. We are probably gonna face the Rocky Mountain Marowaks and the Coach Alpha as a very threatening team with stuff like Manaphy, Uniclus, Mega Lopunny, Snorlax, Darmanitan, and Hexerus. Very, very difficult matchup, but I'm definitely hyped for that. Still have to wait if I actually will play him, because a 5 or 6-0 in the other game could potentially put me in 2nd or 3rd place in the division. I don't want to play like the Reno Regis in the first round, to be honest. They have such an annoying roster with like Mega Venusaur, Togekiss, Hydreigon, Jirachi, bullshit like that. Like I kind of want to play them in the conference finals or not at all if they, like for some reason lose in the first round of the playoffs. So like I'd rather take the easy way to the finals again to repeat as the champion of the NPL. But obviously I feel like I can beat everybody. I already prepped for potential matches in the playoffs. Like I have some, I didn't prep, but I have some sets in mind that I think could really put in the work. So we'll see about that, I guess. Yeah, I think that's it. It was a very cool season for the NPL. Awards will be announced like in 1 or 2 weeks. I'm not sure when the award voting starts, but probably not winning MVP this season, because like other stuff was way better than my extra last season where I got like 20 kills and just destroyed everything. I think Aggron has a shot at like Defensive Mon of the Year or something. Maybe I get some votes for Coach of the Year because like I'm number 1 team in the league, but I don't really expect my Mons to get an award, to be honest, because like my team was really diverse when it comes to stats. I think like 7 Mons on my team or something got like at least 6 kills, which is kind of crazy. So really diverse stats on my team. a little different than last year where Excadrill got the majority of the kills, but it's whatever. I don't really mind that, but I think like Victini put in a solid work here. Definitely should snag some votes for MVP, but probably won't win it because other stuff was like way better. For example, like Mega Venusaur off the Reno Regis like put a team on his back, like went like 15-4 or something with 1 game to go. Like definitely my vote for Defensive Mon of the Year probably, and definitely like a Mon that can win the MVP as well. But definitely be hyped for that. Probably will go up on Trevor's channel, Sheer Force, whatever the trash channel is called. Yeah, but be hyped for that, and be hyped for playoffs next week versus probably the Rocky Mountain Marowaks. Catch you there.